Falcon fans, and of course, good old Atlanta Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what it do. One time for the fan. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, YouTube, Facebook. Shit, man. Everywhere, man. We out here talking Falcons football, keeping it real, keeping it 100 with the Falcons fan base. Miss Carrie here talking Falcons football. T Will for my ATL Sports. One time for the fan here talking Falcons football. How are y'all doing on this Monday morning?
Good morning. Doing good.
Doing well, sir. Doing well. All is well.
That's what's up. Good to see y'all. Good to hear from y'all. I know we missed the show last night, but I had a chance to take an off day today. So wanted to use it and wanted to talk Falcons football with you all. Carrie, of course, always wants to talk Falcons football with you all. And Terry, I mean, shit, he probably just did a show, right? So for Falcons football, for Falcon fans here that enjoy Falcons football, this is the off season. This is the time for us to enjoy what we have in front of us, which is the free agency that's coming up. Of course, the draft that's coming up too as well. Terry, the combine that of course went over, that happened over the past weekend, and we also have a special guest joining us. I don't know if I, told you guys, but we have the voice of the voiceless, Mr. Bodie 3000.
Bodie, what's up?
Bodie 3000.
Can y'all hear me good?
Yes.
We can hear you good.
Bodie's best. Let's go.
How y'all doing, man?
Hey, doing great, man. Big shout out to Bodie 3000. Bodie, glad you can take the time to join us here on One Time for the Fan. We got to give you a big shout out. We got to give you a big shout out. For those who do not know, Bodie got his channel started. His podcast is up and running. Bodie, what is going on over there with Bodie's Best, man? Please, man, tell us about your platform and what we can expect this year from Bodie 3000.
So Bodie's Best is basically just a platform. I talk all things NFL, so I talk about every team. You know what I'm saying? I do rep my Falcons over there, and I let people know that. But pretty much, it's just endless. Like, I ain't limiting myself to one thing. I'm gonna probably go live some days, probably have some podcasts, probably have some shows. I'm gonna put up a lot of pre-record videos. So yeah, it's a big melting pot of greatness. So you guys should subscribe to that'd be greatly appreciated. I don't know if you post the link in the chat or whatever, but yeah, that would be great.
Hey, for all the Falcon fans here that's been with One Time for the Fans since day one. Y'all know how Bodie was rocking with us here. He continued to rock with us going forward. But Bodie has this platform that I'm telling y'all, he's going to take this to the next level. So I'm glad that he's here to talk Falcons football with us too as well. But we can see on the screen, Bodie's Best, the page is up. Please, if you're on YouTube, head on over there right now. Hit the subscribe button. The cool thing about this stuff is it's free, right? Bodie ain't charging you. He charged me the other day for the yard that he didn't finish. But he's not charging for the subscribe right here as well. So please head over there to Bodie's page. Click that subscribe button, notification bell, comment on the page, share the page, like the page. Bodie, you already have 2 videos up already, so you're already moving in the right direction. I'm guessing the draft is coming up too as well. That you're going to have probably a couple videos for. And then you also talk Falcons football. So for fans that's going to be watching your page, he is talking NFL football across, all 32 teams, but Bodie's a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. That is from the heart. So big shout out to Bodie, man. T Will, how's your weekend?
Yes, sir. That was pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, no worries. I was surprised to see that the Washington Commanders traded for one Deebo Samuel. You heard me? Jack, you there?
Yeah, damn, that Wi-Fi, man.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's kind of like StreamYard.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
I think Jack's internet is interneting. I think that's what's going on.
Oh, wow.
Told you get Walmart their signal back, man.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Don't know what they have going on in the area, man, but might be some StreamYard connection issues, but we're gonna keep this thing rolling here on one time for the fan. Debo Samuel's the big trade from the 49ers to the Commanders before this real offseason kind of gets underway here. Um Carrie just put the comments in right there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
made
I
a
don't see
video on
any
that. So
I don't
yeah, y'all check me out on that too for some good tidbits.
Bodie
I'm
3000
with
already has
Eric.
the Debo Samuel traded video up too as well on his page. What's up, Carrie?
I said I'm with Eric. It's the mic.
It's the mic.
Sheesh.
Don't do this. Don't do this. I know y'all gonna get it started because Eric already got them jokes ready. Yeah, Debo Samuel's traded from the 49ers to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. And of course, here in Falcons fan base, they clearly went to the Kyle Pitts situation and wanted to see if, you know, maybe Terry's already on the phone calling teams to shop Kyle Pitts around. I will put up this tweet here before we get to it, but I had to ask the panel here, Bodie, Carrie, and Terry, your thoughts on the Kyle Pitts situation. They do want Kyle Pitts, I guess, here in Atlanta, as I get this tweet pulled up. But is this just like, they're kicking the can on the road with this situation, or maybe Kyle Pitts is available for trade, and they're just, you know, saying what the organization is supposed to say to keep a player like Kyle? Like, Terry, let's go to you first. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts? Is he up for trade right now? Your thoughts?
I think anybody's up for trade right now, especially if you know you're not going to sign him. Now, again, he did seem to have some sort of chemistry with Michael Penix, but if you can get a third and a second for him, or even a third and a fourth, I think he's going. I think it just depends on what the market says, right? I think anybody's available. I think Algier is available. I think Kyle is available. I certainly know Kirk is available. And look at what if you could package Kirk and Kyle to Cleveland for one. Mama, there goes that man again. Myles Garrett. I can dig it. I can dig it, right? Or what if you could do Algier and Kyle for Myles Garrett, and you could trade Kirk for a case of beer? Either way, I'm fine with it, right? Just hey, So I mean, to answer your question, both can be true, right? I think people get pissed at Terry because they expect him to just be 100%. Yes, I Kirk, I can't stand Kirk. He pissed us off. He made us all look bad, and you can't do that, right? And I'm not saying they feel that way. I'm just saying, even if there is some animosity towards a player, you must be professional to the end. So you can't be like, we're trying like hell to trade Kirk. Oh my God, we tried to trade for some Coors Light last week, and they just wouldn't. You can't do that, right? So yeah, I think Kyle's for sale or for trade. I think Algier's for trade because you're not going to sign Algier in 2026. I love Algier, I love him, but he is a luxury, right?
Mm-hmm.
There, you can probably replace Algier. You can't replace Bijan. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to sign Algier. If you're not going to sign him, and you can get Myles Garrett for him, why wouldn't you just go ahead and package him in there, right? You know what I mean?
Let's look at the Myles Garrett situation, if you will. And Bodie, you can jump in on this too as well. Carrie, I know you're here talking Falcons football. Does Myles Garrett want to come to Atlanta? Are we pushing the Myles Garrett to Atlanta issue when Myles Garrett might be looking for maybe a Buffalo or a Kansas City or a Philadelphia? I mean, fans here in Atlanta want the star players like Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack. But in the past, we haven't been able to land these players, right? So maybe is it Raheem? Is it Terry? Is it the negotiations behind the scene that can bring these players in? Because Myles Garrett has to want to come here, right? To help this defense out. We're pushing, Terry, we're pushing the Myles Garrett to Atlanta from the fan base. Is Myles Garrett pushing that on his end? I'm sorry. Big shout out to Myles Garrett too as well from Fox 5. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Myles.
Happy birthday.
Big shout out, Myles Garrett. He's going to be on the podcast here too as well. He just covered the combine, so big shout out to Myles Garrett. He's going to be here on the podcast coming up soon. Plus a special guest that I'll name at the end of the show will be joining us soon. He just confirmed. I think we'll probably do it either this Friday for Breakfast with One Time for the Fan or Sunday show. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, Carrie. Debo Samuels, when that trade happened,
Right.
Fans kind of looked around the NFL and said, "Damn, if star players like Debo can get traded for a 5th round." They kind of looked at their roster and said, "Damn, I wonder if this guy can get traded or if this guy's going to be available." Here in Atlanta, there's a couple players that Terry just named that possibly could be available for trade. Fans want to get some more draft picks. They want to get some more things to, help them out this offseason. Is Kyle Pitts available in your opinion, Miss Carey? And I still have the tweet right here on the screen from around the NFL that says that they believe that Kyle's going to put everything into this season and be the best player he can for them. So just want to, put that out there too as well, Miss Carey.
Right. For me, like T. Will said, there's many players on this team that could be available, depending on what you can get, what the market is. But my thing is, the stock is low. So do you want to cut ties so bad with the stock that you feel it's a failure to where you just want to, sell your stock low, or you want to keep it, hold on to that stock? And hope that it rises next year in the final year. I feel that you're not going to get the return on investment. I mean, yeah, of course we hope we get a 3rd round pick, but realistically, I don't see that happening right now.
Yeah, Debo's getting a 5th. It's tough to even call a 3rd or a 2nd for Kyle Pitts.
Right. So for me, no, I think Kyle Pitts will be a Falcon next season, honestly. I think, yes, they would trade him if they got what they needed, but like I've said before on previous, shows, that this is a make or break a year for a guy, Terry Fontenot, and he doesn't have a extension on his, deal as the Falcons GM. And so, like I said, you made history by drafting a tight end 4th overall. It's never been done before that high. I don't see him trading him away for like a 5th round pick. I mean, to me, that just looks like failure. And you know what I mean? So for me, Kyle Pitts still put up decent numbers last season, even being only like the 18th most targeted tight end in the league. He still had 600 something yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, for being a middle, he still wasn't that targeted that much. He was maybe the 4th or 5th look in our offense. I mean, we talk all the time about how our offense is loaded. So for me, I think, like Terry mentioned, they're gonna hope that Michael Penix can do something with them, do something like we saw, with the game on the line. He got that touchdown with Michael
In
Penix
Washington.
Jr. So in Washington. So for me, I'm if I'm a betting man, betting that Kyle Pitts is a Falcon next season.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. T. Will, one time for the fan, former ATL Sports. Miss Carey, one time for the fan. Bodie's best, one time. Bodie, let's talk about it, man. You cut a video as soon as the Debo Samuels trade went down. Your thoughts on that trade, how it impacted the league, and of course for here in Atlanta, Bodie, the Kyle Pitts situation. Is he a target to possibly be traded here? I mean, even with the tweet up, you hear organizations say one thing and they might do the other. So, Bodie, are they just kind of just putting this out there for the media so that way nobody can just pay attention to it and then they eventually trade Kyle, or is Kyle really here going forward? And just your thoughts on this situation, Bodie.
Well, just piggybacking off what Kerry was saying, the stock is low for Kyle. I mean, people see, just like we saw, that the effort he put in on tape just wasn't there, and sometimes, and his body language in the locker room when people ask him things and he's like, "I just work here," like that ain't the type of mentality you should have as a pro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm talking like I've been a pro, but like let's be real, like that's not infectious mentality. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't show try hard. Now I will say this: it's his contract year, and he will try hard this year because he wants to get that next paycheck. He don't want a 1 year prove it deal. He wants to get paid next year. So I think it's a dynamic between the coaches and Kyle Pitts. They get on the same page. The coaches act like they want him, and they actually scheme him. Then maybe he'll try harder. I don't think they tried hard enough to scheme him last year at all.
Right.
Like
Right.
I don't think they even was like, Kyle, we got a set of plays for you. Here, go study this shit. I don't think they did that. And I think they was like, man, just you're gonna be one of the looks, just get open or whatever the hell. I think if they showed that effort into Kyle, like we believe in you, Kyle, and all that, like all that positive reinforcement it goes a long way. We say that to kids. You want kids to be good, yeah, you can be whatever you want to be, and you say that shit. God damn it, say it to his grown ass too, because it means something. It
Right.
really
No, that's
does.
true. Some people and players need that extra push. They're not as strong mentally. They're not just gonna go out and do it on their own, like you
Yeah,
said. And to your point, Bodie, I feel like he was an afterthought in the offense, honestly. And maybe that is because they thought
absolutely.
he didn't give the effort, but maybe he's not giving the effort because did you see any plays drawn up for him? I don't remember
Exactly.
any. So, I
I don't
mean,
remember anything
yeah.
specific for Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts got the leftover scraps, and it was hard to watch. And I know that Zach Robinson had a lot on his plate trying to scheme up this offense, but he got a whole full season on his belt now. He got all these weapons. I need a package for everybody in that offense. I mean, that's what the greats do. And if he want to be one of those next great up and coming Ben Johnson type coordinators, then I need you to get and I need you to be working right now. Like the work never stops.
Mhm.
I need these packages up. Like you got to get smart. You got to get smart with drawing up packages for Kyle. Kyle is too damn talented. I think the talent is there. I mean, good God, he went fourth overall, and people was like, "Yes." That's the thing. People didn't say, "Oh, that's too high for Kyle Pitts" when he got picked. They said yes because he was a unicorn back then. He still got it in him. And I mean, prefacing to the original question, I went on that tangent. I say all that to say this. I think Cal will be here next year. I don't think he's worth uh, trading for even any pick right now. I wouldn't preface failure. They already prefaced failure. They took too long to preface failure with Kirk Cousins, and they wouldn't take him out the games. But
Sheesh.
you just gotta try. You just gotta try, and not. That's one thing they gotta do. They gotta really show that they believe in Kyle, and they say, Kyle, we picked you. You're our guy at tight end, and we gotta go with it, man. So that's pretty
So
much it.
I got to interject here, and guys, I think both can be true, right? I definitely think that at a certain point they may have stopped scheming for Kyle. But when I look at this Kyle Pitts situation, Kyle Pitts been here for 4 years, right? I'm sure there have been conversations. I'm sure there have been plays schemed up for him. But if in 4 years you're doing the same thing you did, right? You're doing the same. You're not running your routes out, right? You're not running your hot routes out. You're supposed to run a go and you stop. At a certain point, guys are going to be like, you know what? He doesn't get it, and he doesn't work here. For Terry Fontenot to come out in a press conference and say Kyle has not done what he should or whatever he said, that says two things to me. Number one, they've had conversations with Kyle, right? Remember,
Yep.
at the beginning of the year, Kyle was rooming with Kirk Cousins. That's not by accident, guys. That is not by accident. That is Kyle is a special case. Kirk, we need you to work with him. And you know what? By the end of the year, Kirk wasn't looking at him. So what's that tell you? Right? Because guess what? You're not gonna not run plays for Kyle if you're gonna put him with the quarterback. If you're putting him with the quarterback, that shows you believe in him,
I
right?
have to ask T Will,
Uh,
is it confirmed that they put him with it or put them together, or do they get to choose their roommates? And I ask that because if you remember right, Kyle Pitts was the one who kind of encouraged him to come here to Atlanta. He's the one who
Well,
wanted Kirk Cousins and reached out to Kirk Cousins.
that's a good question
That's
because
that's a good
go
question.
back to Ritter when Ritter
That's a
was
good
here at
question.
camp. Remember, Ritter was rooming with Drake London, so I'm guessing they wanted to pair the quarterback with the wide receiver. Don't know if it's a, behind the scenes, the players, they build relationships, friendships, right? Like
Right.
you guys, you see them at each other's cookouts later on down the line, and each other's weddings later on down the line, and it's like, you know, these guys become friends as soon as they reach camp, right? So for Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins, we thought the magic was there. for next season, I mean, I'm sure they're going to probably put Michael Penix maybe in the room with Bijan Robinson at camp, and of course, some of the starting unit. But yeah.
Can I interject Terry's interjection?
Oh gosh, here we go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay silent because I'm done being Kyle Pitts' lawyer. Honestly,
here's the blowback I got. Shout out Smitty. The interjection I have with that is, yes, he had 4 years to do. His first year, he had 1,000 yards with Matt Ryan. Check. We're good there. Everybody thinks he's good. He was the only target.
Check.
He was.
He was the only target. You have a choice.
But him being the only target, yeah, true enough. He reached that 1,000-yard threshold, and he showed he could be capable. And we didn't, tight ends aren't normally 1,000-yard receivers. Even if he was the only target, there should have been another damn target.
Right.
I know everybody was down. I digress. All right, the 2 years in between this past year, we've had Dookie Water at quarterback. Okay,
we had what?
Dookie Water. Finkel matter. I'm sorry. Hey, I speak truth to power.
Toxic waste.
Okay.
Toxic.
Goddamn, when he just said Ritter a few seconds ago, I almost threw up in my damn mouth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired. Hey, it is a Monday. That's a great reason, a great way to get off all this interjection right here. Yeah, so 2 years in between, you're dealing with a Ritter and who else we had? I don't even fucking remember at this point. Ritter, Heineke, Mariota. It was Mariota. Wasn't it?
I think
wasn't it Mariota first, right?
Yeah, Butt Fumble 2 was first.
Yeah. So we had him, and then we had Ritter and Heineke.
Yeah.
All right. You're dealing with 2 quarterbacks, or 3 quarterbacks like that. Okay, we already know that Mariota was a one look. I'm taking off. If that first look ain't there, I'm taking off every time. He was that guy. So the jury's out for Kyle then. And then we get Ritter. Okay, Ritter. Ritter was Ritter. You know what I'm saying? He don't always look. He don't always see. It's just poor quarterback play. Heineke the same way. It was poor quarterback play between those 2 years. And those 2 years after his rookie season would get you in a mold, like a mind state, to really think that, damn, why the fuck am I even trying, bro? Like, it might just be the quarterbacks, and but it's like, damn, I'm not getting any balls. I'm not getting. They're not scheming for me, and the team didn't even know what they want. They mostly wanted to run the ball. So you're effed. You're fucked there. Like, it's over. Like, if you want to just run the piss out the ball, ain't that what he said? Then do you really expect to get these looks? And then last year, of course, we had a quarterback. And by the time last year rolled around, look what he's been dealing with for the past 2 years.
So
BS.
So the interjection, Drake was here too.
Okay.
Drake so you interject the interjection to the interjection.
No, I'm gonna interject.
Drake was here too. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I was already on this one, T-Will. The chat was going to say it, you were going to say it. Yes, Drake was here, right? But to that point, I am not, I have a good memory, okay? I remember people not giving Drake London the respect he deserves. There was national media, right. Exactly. National media, haters from the Aints fans, everybody telling me that Chris Olave is better, Garrett Wilson is better. Do you guys remember that? Drake London got so disrespected, and I was his lawyer as well, because I was like, he doesn't have a quarterback. You cannot.
Years later with Drake London.
Right. Look at him last year. He proved that he is a true wide receiver 1, but he got so much hate his first 2 years because he didn't have a quarterback, and people just disrespected him and said, "Oh yeah, he's average, he's mid," and tried to tell me that Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were better. But what did they do last season? Nothing. Drake London clearly out. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So he got hate from the outside. I don't know that he got internal hate, right? Because Drake has been consistent, and all I'm saying is, look, all things can be true. I'm not I'm not debating the fact that the Falcons at a certain point this year just stop looking Kyle's way. What I'm saying is maybe they stopped looking Kyle's way because they figure, okay, this was supposed to be the year. You're doing the same thing. You're making the same mistakes. You got the same habits as when you had these poor quarterbacks. You're doing this. You're not running routes. You're not where you're supposed to be, right? 70% of the throws in the NFL are the quarterback doesn't even see where they go because I got to have trust that you're going to be where you're supposed to be at the time you're going to be that. If we don't have that trust, you're not my first or second option. Well, and guys, we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that.
You got
okay,
I agree.
Okay, I agree with that.
Stats too as well. Go ahead, Carrie.
No, I do agree with T. Will, but at the same time, he wasn't his. I mean, I don't know when do you mean that his targets really went down because they really didn't. I mean, I think National Tight Ends Day he was seen. Yeah, I mean, he averaged less than 10 targets a game. I mean, he wasn't like I said. He's an afterthought in the offense.
His targets and look at. I'm sorry, Carrie, to cut you off, but look at the targets and receptions to when Penix got in to when Kirk Cousins was there before. I mean, against New Orleans, what was that? What 0 receptions, 3 targets against Tampa Bay when he what was that? The Thursday night game. 7 receptions, 8 targets. Was it? Yeah, 7 receptions, 8 targets. Carolina 3 for 5. Seattle 7 for 9. I mean, the Dallas game 1 for 1. Fans would probably be upset about that. The Denver game 1 for 3. The Charger game 0 for 2. Minnesota 1 for 6 for 14 yards. I know fans would be upset about that. But then look when Penix got into the game too as well. The Giants game 1 for 2 right there. The Commanders game 4 for 5 with that touchdown that fans were kind of expecting. That we wouldn't even be in the chance to even catch that ball. I mean, that was a fucking bullet that Michael Penix threw.
That was a bullet.
But then Carolina too, 2 for 3. So he goes right back to being who Kyle Pitts has already been. I mean, is this a Zach Robinson issue that they're not giving him more targets? Because I mean, we see his production right here.
My thing is also, I think the expectation is so high, that's what Raheem Morris mentioned at the combine, that because he was drafted 4th overall, Falcons decided to make history for whatever reason by taking a tight end 4th overall. The expectations are very high. I mean, and he was set up, on a pedestal because of that to produce these crazy, stats. And for me, I guess my question is, what do people want from him? Like, what do you want consistently every season? Because we talk about in this offense that we have so many weapons. I mean,
I think
last season
to have those wide receiver stats, like he's supposed to be going off for $150 every game. Top 5, top 10 in receiving yards, receptions, touchdowns.
Okay,
yeah,
my thing is
we picked this man. We picked this man over Jamar Chase. So that's what they're expecting. Something near that, which is crazy.
But you can't argue that right there. You did pick them up as high as Jamar Chase was. I mean, you see what Jamar Chase does in the league right now. So
not as high as Jamar Chase. We picked him over Jamar Chase.
We did.
Right.
We did. I just, guys, I'll just take effort, right?
But it
like
wasn't
if
Raheem
I see effort,
so
if I see effort on every play, I got nothing to say, right?
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say, Terry.
Would Raheem select Kyle Pitts if he was the coach back then?
Good question.
Would Raheem?
Hell no.
Good question.
But that's the thing. No. Here's the thing. I mean, like, there was the hype of everybody mocking him to us and saying, "Hey, you a fool if you don't pick him," type stuff. He's different. He's a unicorn. Blah blah blah. And I think the Falcons fell into that trap. And the Falcons are Showtime football anyway. We want to show off on offense. We don't draft defense. I don't understand what the fuck. Why not? But we don't. Okay. And so this is a Showtime team. Everybody coming to the games. They all dressed to impress and looking pretty. They ain't even watching the game. They doing selfies and shit. That's the type of team we got right now. Okay. So
are we expecting a big season from Kyle Pitts? Now we got over the trade situation. Are we expecting a big season here? Michael Penix. Everybody's high expectations for Michael Penix after the whole Kirk Cousins situation. We drafted him like Kyle Pitts, top 10, another high pick. So Bijan did his job. Everybody loves Bijan. He's gonna be here forever. We hope that he's gonna be here forever. Drake London did his job. Fans see that he have a star wide receiver. You have your star wide receiver. You have your star running back. Do we have our star tight end for the future and our star quarterback? We're trying to build a team here going forward. I mean, we want to win some games, but to know that these young players can help build the future of the Atlanta Falcons, it's a good feeling. To see Jaden Daniels, what he did last year with the Washington Commanders, and to know that Michael Penix gets a shot at doing this again next year without having the quarterback controversy around him. For the fan base, if Michael Penix doesn't do what he's supposed to do, I'm telling you about this fan base. Kerry, I don't want I don't want to say it, but you know how this fan base is.
Right.
And I don't care if you were selected second overall, first overall. If you don't get us wins, it's good. I think somebody's mic is
somebody might need to mute.
Somebody might need to mute or something.
Somebody better. Let's see.
There's two speakers going. Somebody's got two speakers somewhere.
We'll check it out. But if you're looking at it right now, Falcon fans, if Michael Penix doesn't do his job next year to get us some wins, I mean, fans don't want to hear about the future, right? They don't want to hear about 2028 and 2029, and we're going to get this guy and draft this guy. We're going to have this cap room. They want to win now, right? And I've seen this before, right? So for Falcon fans, just, remain positive about this team and about, what the future could be for the Atlanta Falcons. But, I'm all for it. I just paid my season tickets today. So they took my money, Terry. They got me. I try to dodge them as long as I could, man. The Falcons reps. You know how they are. So,
hey, so look, like I said, man, all things can be true. Definitely, Zach Robinson is from 11 personnel. He's really doesn't use tight ends, but I think, look, if you want to succeed, good coordinators have to adjust. So you probably can't scheme for what Kyle does well, right? Kyle likes to sit down in the zone in the mid, scheme for that, right? Don't have Kyle as the hot read. He clearly doesn't like to do it. Let's put routes in there because we got enough.
You have to put some of this on Zach Robinson too.
Yes, right. I can agree with that. That I can agree with. You need to be, because look, it's his last year with the Falcons. I'm going to say that I don't see us re-signing him unless he has a major year. And even then, I don't know. But with that being said, look, you need to scheme some slants. You know what I mean? Some drags. Sit him down in the middle of the field. You can run Mooney out there. You can run Drake. Like, we got options.
So here's the thing. And I'm just going to say this, and then of course we can, if Bodie wants to piggyback on it or Kerry wants to talk about it, then we can go to the next topic. Look at Penix, right? Look at Drake. Look at Bijan. Look at Mike and look at Kyle Pitts too as well. Mooney, Ray. Look at what the Falcons are doing already this offseason. They're not sending any coaches to the combine to go look for any offensive players. I think they feel like this offense is set. That's why you're hearing the comments about Kyle Pitts. They know that if they have Michael Penix do what Michael Penix can do, and I think we've seen it from college, that Pitts will have a fantastic season. Mooney will have a fantastic season, and the line will just continue to keep just going up and up and up. Because you're looking at Drake London, even with Michael Penix in the game, Drake London was shining. Even with Kirk Cousins in the game, Drake London was shining. When Ritter was there, he was shining. So now you know you got players that you can trust, and I think they trust Michael Penix enough to look at Kyle Pitts and say, "This is Kyle's last year." If this was like 2 or 3 years ago, they can look at Kyle and say, "Man, we'll be good. We'll talk about this in 2 years." This is Kyle's probably make it or break it season. And it also has to go off of Michael Penix because this is his second year. Falcons, Falcon fans just came off a season where we were 6-3. We were riding the wave. Penix felt that. We was first in the division. Outrun the South. When was the last time we mentioned that on the podcast? Outrun the South.
Outrun the South.
We didn't even mention that no more. Who knows what the theme is going to be this year? But I do know that they probably trusted Michael Penix so high that that's why the Kyle Pitts situation is just going to be. It's just going to be gone by the time training camp starts. Number 8 is going to be on the field, signing autographs, taking pictures, and catching touchdowns here in Atlanta in the fall. So, Kerry, your thoughts on that? I mean, they trust Michael Penix that much that, hey, he can get these guys going. That's when I heard the report last time we had the podcast, and they said Michael Penix is taking he's doing some, what is it? The quarterback, what stuff he doing? He's doing the training with some of the guys in the offseason. He's going to be working with some of the offense. So, of course, Kyle Pitts is probably going to be there, too, as well, right? You got to train with your guys. But, Kerry, Terry, Bodie, just your thoughts on Michael Penix, man. How high they feel about Michael Penix and his expectations for next season.
Miss Carey?
I mean, I'm really excited. We finally have an off season where we think we have our quarterback of the future. We have, an answer at the most important position on the field since Matt Ryan. So, of course, I'm really excited. You guys know I already got that big Penix energy.
Oh my God.
There we go.
I'm still waiting for.
There it is.
Still
We
waiting
got a
for.
special guest in the
Yeah.
chat too as well. I see that our Jaguars friend is back.
Oh wow! I was wondering where he was. Didn't
He's
see him
hot
all
today.
season.
Yeah, he's hot. He's on fire today. He's I don't know what's going on. I guess the Jaguars ain't doing too much, So he's over here in a Falcons podcast, talking with Falcon fans about what the Falcons are doing. Don't know about any Jaguars podcast at the moment, but it's going down. Dirty Bird Central's in the chat. We're gonna get to some more topics here. Big shout out to all the Falcon fans talking about Kyle Pitts in the chat. You have Dirty Bird Central mentioning that Kurt lost trust in Pitts. Mateo's in the chat saying Pitts better not be pulling a Julio. Jeez, good Lord.
Oh.
Oh Lord, goddamn, Mateo, what is that all about? And of course,
now, Jonell, you going a little bit too far, brother.
Is going,
you going a little bit too far. You know your team sucked this year. You talking trash like y'all made the playoffs, or at least had a winning record.
I know he didn't come out the woodwork.
Oh, yes,
start
he did.
talking.
Yeah, he's been hiding all
like
season.
season week 3, and here he comes back.
All y'all got is Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, Happy New Year, bro. You ain't been around.
We ain't seen you in 2020. We ain't seen
Go back.
2025.
What was the
Go back in the
Jaguars
hiding.
record this year?
What's up?
What was the Jaguars record?
Oh, come on, T-Bro.
A little to a lot.
Look,
I can tell you they were 4-12, third in their division.
they were 4-13.
Yeah.
Janelle, you talking trash, and your team was 4-13. Y'all didn't even win 5 games, Janelle, for real.
Sheesh.
Like what? Y'all won one game a quarter of the season. Like for each quarter of the season, y'all won one game. That's what it was. Like I don't. I'm confused. You talking shit like y'all made the playoffs. Like, help me out. Help me understand, John. I'm confused, bro. Because you talking big shit like I missed the playoff game or something that didn't happen. Did y'all see the Jaguars in the playoffs? Was that like the wild card before the wild card?
No, Jaguars fans are
recognized trash. No, sir. We were one game and a failed timeout away from the playoffs. Y'all never had a chance.
Look, man.
Like y'all didn't have a chance from the rip.
Look,
like wow. Okay.
Let me get this picture up.
It's all good, man. It's all good. He just talking trash. I had to get him a little. I had to get him a little bit. It's all good.
Yeah, you forgot what he was for a second.
I just had, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like the 5th string tight end talking shit to the 1st string quarterback. You got to recognize, the pedigree, man. You got to recognize the pecking order here, bro. You supposed to go and get our drinks, bro. You supposed to hang up our jackets. You don't say shit.
Yeah,
you don't talk.
Oh wow!
You don't do that.
He was not holding back.
Not a 5th string, a 5th string receiver talking shit to a 1st string quarterback. You better shut your mouth. Hold my beer, Jonell. Hold my beer.
Jonell Everett, the Jags fan, until your organization does right with this guy. And you know what you guys will never win a championship. You remember this guy right here, Jonell? This right here was the face of the Jacksonville Jaguars at one point. He's no longer there. Until you guys do right by Jalen Ramsey. Come on now, Jonell.
You do right by me.
What did Jalen do? What did Jalen do when he went to the Rams? Got his ring,
you do right by me.
Do right by me.
You do right by me. Big Low said, only Jags I've seen on TV is the Navy Detective Show. Get him, Big Low.
God.
Get him.
Now we're watching National Geographic. Let's go to the chat and do some housekeeping, as Terry would say. Sugar is in the chat. Dwayne Ruffin, Jonte Rozier is in the chat. Philip Crawford's in the chat. You got a question here, Philip, that we're going to get to in just a minute, because we're going to talk some draft here for the Falcons. Of course, there's a couple players that lit it up at the combine, and Falcons universe is going crazy right now. They're talking about what player could be drafted at 15, and it's looking good because we just mentioned it. Falcons don't seem to be talking to any offensive players. Carry, the report that they interviewed or they spoke with 45 defensive players. Shit. I mean, that's pretty good. But Philip Crawford, we're going to talk about that in just a minute about who is climbing up the board here for our one time for the fan draft board. And of course, our draft show will be live and lit on draft night. It's probably going to be like a 2.5, 3 hour show. Bodie, Carey, T Will, who else? Big Low Country Sports, Ricondo, real Atlanta Falcon fan, man. Big shout out to everybody who's going to be joining us. We're going to have some more special guests joining us here that we'll be announcing shortly. Mateo's in the chat. Tyreek is in the chat. Eric Parker's in the chat. Big shout out to Eric Parker, Terry. Brothers here checking up on you, mates, making sure you're good now. Security's in the building. Big shout out to Eric Parker here in the chat. Of course, we have Smitty's Sports Machine. Big shout out to Smitty. He's been a guest on the show too as well. He has his channel, great content over there with Smitty. Make sure y'all go over there and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You seen Bodie's Best right here too as well. Podcast with one time, but Bodie got his channel up and running. Everybody, please head over there to YouTube and hit that like, share, and subscribe for Bodie's Best immediately, man. We're gonna have a great time working these podcasts this year. And Bodie's already pushing out some great content. Jay Black is in the chat with the comment, Myles Garrett doesn't want to come here. Falcons need to prove we can win and win big deep in the playoffs. And that's tough because you're just going to be pitching to Myles Garrett what we can do in the future. Hey, look, we got this guy. We're going to draft this guy. Versus another team is going to show their body of work and say, look, Myles, you can fit into this. Right? So it's really where Myles wants to go. But we'll see where it is. He spent all those years in Cleveland. I can tell you right now, he wouldn't be looking at a team like the Colts, you know what I'm saying? Or a team like, give me another, the Jags. I can tell you that right now. He wouldn't be looking that way. But big shout out to everybody here in the chat. MW, the franchise players in the chat. It's great to talk football with y'all. Monday afternoon, 12:10. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Keyshawn Norrell's in the chat. Carrie, Terry, Bodie, quick hot take. Do we resign? Do we franchise Drew Dahlman? I guess Kashawn wants to know. I think we go ahead and just give him the bag, man. Do whatever we can to lock him in. That offensive line has been doing numbers, together for quite some time, even with the addition of Bergeron recently. But I would like to keep Drew Dahlman around, knowing that he has improved here in Atlanta. I really don't want to send him over to a team like the Bears or a team like the Packers right now, because then we have to go hunting for a center. And of course, we might be able to find a cheap one in the draft. And, we got to work him up too as well. But if we can keep Drew Dahlman, that would be great. Carrie, your thoughts on Drew Dahlman? Bodie, Terry, your thoughts on Drew Dahlman?
Shut up, Siri.
I don't think, I don't think we're going to be able to keep Drew Dahlman, unfortunately. I would love to keep Drew Dahlman, but I think he's going to get big money in free agency, and we're just not going to be able to match what he's going to be offered.
You got to keep it real. It's the money, man.
Yeah,
sometimes
I would love to keep
$30,
him.
$40 million. Shit.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking maybe 20, but honestly, I would love to keep him up, for obvious reasons. Like, he's solid for us. Center's very important. I mean, the offensive line is really important, and I would love continuity, with our offensive and defensive lines. But the thing is like I said, I don't think we're going to have the money that he'll be able to get from other teams that have the cap space. We won't be able to match it. And I think they're going to have to run it with Ryan Neuzil as the starter, and maybe draft a guy. But it doesn't even seem like they might draft a guy. Maybe they'll have a backup, they'll pick up from another team.
It might be because
a
it's
free
weird to draft a
agent
guy when you didn't have no offensive coordinator,
Right.
coaches going to the combine and go check
Yeah.
nobody out. It's like, oh shit.
So
yeah.
I don't think that's honestly. I hope so, but I don't think I'm betting on him not being a Falcon next season. Honestly.
Bodie, Drew Dahlman.
Yeah, man. Can y'all hear me?
I can, brother.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's just same. I preach the same sentiment there. He's probably be too expensive. We could. I think even if we tagged him, like somebody else could still pay him more, right? Like I think that's the case, right? So, it's just probably going to be too much. He's been good though. He's been a pleasant surprise because we got him late in the draft, and he worked his way up. But it's hard to it's hard to get a good center, man. So hopefully we can do everything we can to keep him, but doesn't look likely.
Yeah, that's tough. T. Will, your knowledge about this situation with Drew Dahlman. We talked about it on the podcast a couple times. It seems like that's like one of the key things here on One Time for the Fan is locking up that center, or quickly finding your next alternative route. And Drew Dahlman, you can either stay with the Falcons and keep that consistency with that line with Jake Matthews in the guard in the NFL, Chris Lindstrom right beside you, and of course Caleb McGarry, what he's been doing. Or you can go get paid and go play with a quarterback for a team who will probably get rid of him in the next year or two. What your thoughts, Terry?
So I was thinking this morning. I was listening to some local radio analyst opine on it, and you have to ask yourself. The drop off from Dahlman to what's his name, Nuzeel, is it that bad? Is it $10 million worth?
Doesn't seem that bad.
I don't think it is, right?
Up. Yeah,
I don't think it is. Like that 500 yard game that Kirk had, that was Ryan Nuzeel that was in there.
I was about to mention that too. Nuzeel is contract wise, you get a cheaper guy. Performance on the field wise, he's not that bad.
Right. The drop off is not that far. And you have too many needs on defense. You're not going to be able to draft all your needs on defense. Mm-hmm. You're not. So, if we're looking at this fiscally, it's probably better. And I know people don't want to hear this, but you probably don't want, even if you don't want to spend $20 million on him right now. Like if you had a salary cap of $100 million, hey man, go for it. Right. Mm-hmm. But you don't. You're going to have to make some moves to get under and do some other stuff. Maybe the Falcons let him go, and maybe they spend that money on a linebacker or cornerback, and they draft a safety and an edge rusher and do it that way. But the more I think about it, they may not resign him. They may not. I agree with Kerry. I don't think they have $20 million. I think he's going to be able to go and get more on the open market than he would from us.
Right. I've read rumors that Texans and Packers and, like you mentioned, Bears, there's a lot of teams that could use a good center. And Drew Dahlman has proven he's a very good center for being drafted late in a late round. I think he had he's really good in the run game, right? I mean, he's very solid. So somebody's going to be lucky to have him.
PFF has him ranked up there as one of the top centers in the league. Of course, one of the top free agents in the league for most of these reports that's going on when free agency gets underway. The Bears, they're just sitting on a boatload of money right now. They can get Drew Dahlman. They can pay him whatever he wants. Does the player want to stay here? Like I said, keep it in-house and keep the guy here, going long-term. Maybe Drew Dahlman says, you know what? I like what we have in Atlanta. Let's keep it going. Let's run it back. Maybe that's the theme for next year. Let's run it back. And he stays with the group, or he goes to chases that bag, and we just, start from the next phase of whoever our center is going to be, which could be Nuzeel, could be a guy that we draft, could be a guy in the free agency. I would probably chase a guy in the free agency. But then again, you just let go of a center. He's gone through free agency to another team, and here you go picking up another center. So we just hope that the scheme works at the end of the day, right? So the offensive lines coach, Zach Robinson, Raheem Morris, everybody has to play a part in this. Going back to some housekeeping here, Mateo, Jeff Wolf in the chat, Jarnell, anybody looking at no Jags talk right now. Jay Black is in the chat. Dirty Bird Central, Prime Shiesty is in the chat. Get rid of Kurt, ask the Browns or the Raiders. Let's go around that NFL talk because we did mention Deebo Samuel's getting traded to the Commanders. There was reports last week that apparently Tom Brady tried to bring in Matthew Stafford to be the Raiders quarterback for the next couple of years. And now the report a couple of days later was the Rams are trying to lock in Matthew Stafford. Did they secure the deal? Is the Rams?
Oh, they already did.
Matthew Stafford? They already did?
They did. Yes,
okay.
They did.
So Rams, Matthew Stafford going forward. Teams are trying to secure their quarterback for the future and their quarterback this year. Terry, we talked about it the other day. Kerry, Bodie, glad you are here because we can go over it again. how important it is to have a quarterback for your future, either franchise, just a guy to help you win games or just take you to that next level. Because everybody seems to be, reaching through the draft or in free agencies looking pretty bad this year to grab their Pat Mahomes. They're trying to grab their Josh Allen. We have a guy named Michael Penix. Terry, your thoughts about that as I take this phone call?
About Michael Penix
Michael Penix, for the future here in Atlanta.
Oh, I definitely think we're set. He has a rocket for an arm. He can make every throw, but most importantly, he is. Wow, did we just lose everybody in the show?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know. He just spotlighted you.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think that Penix is a potential MVP. He can make all the throws. And more importantly, he's got poise. He's not phased. Like, again, at least twice last year, we're in fourth and gotta have it scenarios. Or third and gotta have it scenarios. And you know what he does? Drops back. The Washington crowd is going crazy. Drills that thing. I mean, drills it to Kyle Pitts. Puts it only where Pitts can get it. Low. Drills it to him. Makes a throw to Kadero Hodge that nobody else in the league, except maybe Brett Favre when he was younger, can make. Right? The kid has poise. He has no fear. He's got a rocket arm. What's not to like? So, I think he's our future. Absolutely.
Right.
Miss Carey, you talk about this BPE for some strange reason. Fans,
I'm gonna get you on board. No, you told me you're on the record. When we win the Super Bowl,
yeah,
you're gonna be saying you're gonna be all about that big Penix energy. You'll come around.
I know you didn't say
when
that.
He brings us, you will.
Oh, he said it.
No.
Tony, you will too. When he brings us the Super Bowl to Atlanta.
Some people are comfortable saying BPE. Carrie's comfortable with saying it. I'm not comfortable.
I can't say that. I'll say I'll be on the do-rag gang. That's where I'm at. Do-rag gang.
Do-rag gang. Hashtag do-rag gang.
You guys should already be on the do-rag gang. No, big Penix energy. When we win a Super Bowl with Penix as our quarterback, yep, I'm gonna get you guys there.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been
What's
in the stands
happening?
and heard a couple dudes.
You have fun with that, Carrie.
Like, yeah, that's that BPE. Like,
I don't know. That's kind of nutty, but I mean, Jack, I did say I was getting the shirt made, which I still need to do, but I will have it in time for next season. But I literally had put that out there on Twitter, and some men were replying to me asking, "Hey, when you order that, let me know." They want to order one too, and I was like, "All right, I'm not even gonna hate on it." But I don't know if I was a man, I don't think I'd be rocking a shirt that said "Big Penix Energy." I'm just saying.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Do some more housekeeping in the chat. Chat is live. Chat is lit. It's 12:21 on a Monday afternoon. Y'all want to talk Falcons? We're going to continue to talk Falcons. Eric Parker, Big Low Country Sports is in the chat. Millie Mills, big shout to Millie Mills here in the chat talking Falcons
Millie
with us. Mateo and William Amy is in the chat talking Falcons football with us. FF Will is in the chat here talking Falcons football. Big shout out to FF Will in the chat. Keith Simmons is in the chat talking Falcons football with us. Big shout out to Keith. We got our good friend Walter Christopher May is in the chat. He said, "I'll wait to see what Penix does with Pitts once they spend the whole offseason together." That's actually very important because that communication is key. Carrie, we've been through this. The Drake London and Ritter, right? And this quarterback and this guy, like, we've seen it before. We just want to win. Right? Let's get it done now. Let's just get it done. Eric Parker's in the chat. He's trolling me. He said Jack's mic is trying to talk. Jesus Christ. That's Parker, boy. I swear. I think he's trying to get me back for that comment I dropped on your show the other day, T. Will, about the leaves in the front lawn. He never came to get them either. And I got
wow.
By the HOA.
Wow. He's taking shots now. He's taking shots now.
Is in the chat, fam. The Falcons finna be on fire. It's great to see the positivity in the chat. Like, I love this positivity from Falcon fans because I got my Falcon shirt on, Falcon hat. Terry, look, Falcon hat. Like,
I see you.
We're not putting on for this shit. This is Monday afternoon and we want to talk Falcons, right?
Hey, Jack, what if your mic was possessed like Christine?
Shit.
What if at different shows it just took over, right?
That's tough.
And we're just saying some outlet like that. Wow, that's crazy, man.
That's tough.
That's crazy.
Mateo's in the chat.
Man, I'm really ready for Falcons football now. I mean, I know Braves baseball season's upon us, but I'm more excited for we're a day closer to Falcons football now.
What more exciting news to get on, getting closer to the season than I think Sean Murphy's going to be out for a couple months now, right, Terry?
Oh my God, 4 to 6 weeks. Jesus,
okay.
Sean.
Okay. Well, 4 to 6 weeks plus, I'm guessing going to have a little bit of rehab time behind that.
Yeah. But you got Drake Baldwin, who is he's going to get his chance now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to, hey, man, I don't know if you guys remember Wally Pipp, but who replaced Wally Pipp?
And it's great to see the Falcon fans in here that are Braves fans, that are Hawks fans. The Hawks played tonight too as well against Memphis. Disappointing loss the other night against the OKC Thunder. The Hawks had to win those type of games to show that they can match up against big teams in the East and the West. Because OKC at one point wasn't a good team, right? Houston at one point wasn't a good team. Like these teams are now getting back in the runnings of being top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The Hawks to be on that level, I mean, they've beaten Boston before. They've beaten Cleveland before. But, like, even tonight, Memphis is going to be a tough game. I expect the Hawks to go out there and put up a good show. But, Memphis, they just have trouble with these West Coast teams, man.
Yeah, they do. Wally Pipp got hurt. He was the starter, and he was replaced by Lou Gehrig. And those of you who know who Lou Gehrig was, Wally Pipp never got the opportunity again. And look at this second year, Sean gets hurt, like right out of spring training.
Mm-hmm.
And they say Baldwin can rake. So it's going to be interesting because the kid is going to get his chance. That's going to be very interesting.
It's good to talk Falcons football. It's good to talk Braves too as well. T-Will, on your channel, you talk Braves, you talk Hawks. You just did a show about talking United. I'm guessing when Atlanta brings the hockey team here, you're probably going to be a hockey fan too.
Going to do that.
Have you picked up pickleball and badminton on the
not maybe pickleball, not necessarily badminton, but in about 2 months, when the Atlanta Dream start their season, I'm going to be talking Atlanta Dream.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking
Atlanta Dream look legit. They look legit this year.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking Atlanta
Brittany
Dream
Griner too as well. I mean, the sold out tickets too as well. They're playing some games at State Farm Arena, like the Dream.
Yeah, man.
We ain't talking about Raheem. We talking about the Atlanta fans.
I'm not calling Raheem the Dream right now.
But Raheem the Dream, rapper in Atlanta. Kerry, I want to throw it out there. Fans gonna be like, "You dissing Raheem Morris?" No, Raheem the Dream.
Oh wow,
rapper in Atlanta.
Oh wow, Raheem the Dream. Well, you took it back on that one.
Had to take it back real quick.
You definitely took it back on that one.
Jamal D is in the chat. Big shout out to Jamal D. DSGB Hall is in the chat too as well. Big shout out to DSGB Hall. It's going down in the chat, man. Everybody's having a good time. We're going to talk about the Falcons draft coming up. We want to mention some players who we think is on our board. Chat, let's talk Falcons football. Who are some players that are on your board? As I go over the chat too as well with Uncle Steve's Lounge and Jamal D and Sterling Woods and some of these just fantastic Falcon fans here talking Falcons football. Let's go to this draft situation, Terry. Pick 15. We're not going to talk about trading back or anything. This Jahad Campbell from Alabama lit it up at the combine. Fans are talking about it too as well. So much that I think they might even get over the Mike Green situation or the Abdul Carter situation to even look at a guy like Jahad Campbell at 15. Thoughts? Anybody? Chat? Terry, Kerry, Bodie, some players who the Falcons could target at 15. Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, too, as well. I said this on Out of Your Falcons Mind on the last podcast that they did. I think it was last month. James Pierce from Tennessee. That's a name that I think Falcon fans need to go ahead and remember, too, as well, because he will be drafted in the first round and around that time where the Falcons have at 15. Terry, Kerry, Bodie, let's talk draft. Any names on your board that we might want to start looking into right now, or just circling?
I'm gonna go James Pierce.
James.
I mean, if you can't get Mike Green, right, which I'm very disappointed about, but let's keep it real. The Falcons are not gonna Like you got the Falcons they're not gonna look at him. So
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go safe. The kid out of Tennessee. Hey man, he's a problem. He's a problem. So yeah, let's go James Pierce for me. Those are my thoughts. Bodie Carey.
Well,
Fans, write down James Pierce. Write down James Pierce on your draft board. Bodie, I know you're a big draft guy. You talked about it in the past. On draft night, your reaction to you knowing the pick before we find out who the pick is. You've done it 2 years in a row now. I'm glad to have you here on the podcast again to make sure we do it again this year. Your reaction is just flawless, Bodie. When you look at the phone and say,
It
"I know
was.
who the pick is."
I
The
was.
first time with Bijan, last time with Michael Penix. Bodie this year is going to be great, man. But we're getting a defensive player anywhere, Bodie, so we ain't tripping. We ain't tripping. We just want to know who's the guy. Who do you think, Bodie, right now could be on the Falcons draft board?
or you hope we get a defensive player. No, I'm just playing. But
Shit.
yeah. It honestly, 15 is such a tricky. It's such a tricky spot to pick, and so unpredictable. Because by that time, last year, the 15th pick was the first defensive player off the board, and that was insane. But this is a deeper defensive class. I personally don't have a favorite at the moment because I don't know exactly how it's going to fall. We could have a Michael Williams fall all the way to 15, or we could have a cornerback from Michigan fall out of the top 10, which I don't think he will because he looked like he nice. Or we could have, I think we could use anything on defense. BP, if that corner fell, that'd be a tough call between getting that and a pass rush that we know we need. Um, I personally, I mean, I might sound like a Georgia homer. I like Walker, the linebacker. I think he's the best linebacker in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I like him at 15 personally.
Mm-hmm.
Still, Jalen Walker is my pick.
Jalen Walker, Falcon fans, let's circle that. Now that's not Bodie's 100% accurate pick. We do have free agency to get out in a couple of weeks here, and don't forget about draft coming up next month. But until then, we're just throwing out some names that fans can be familiar with. Mike Green, Carrie, you put this comment in the chat here. Jahad Campbell, stock up. Mike Green, stock is down for me. Carrie, your
Right.
thoughts on this? Because fans are speaking about the kid from Alabama. And right now, James Pierce, Walker from Georgia, Campbell. If one of those three picks end up here in Atlanta, I'm fine. I ain't got no problem with it. Right? Those
Right.
guys are doing a great job in college, and here they come into the NFL. Now we're going to be making a name for themselves. Carrie, why stock up for Jahad? Why stock down for Mike Green?
Okay, so I was all in on Mike Green. I mean, we all saw that video where he just like demolished, completely trucked that offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
That
Senior
went
Bowl.
viral. Yes, at the Senior Bowl. So I was all about it. But like T Will mentioned, you know, there's the allegations out there about his past with the sexual assault, which, mind you, is he was never proven guilty. So
Mm-hmm.
he's
Mm-hmm.
an innocent man as far as we
Mm-hmm.
know. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. But
Mm-hmm.
my thing is, the allegation was in high school and then again in college. Um, I still really like him as a player, and the thing about it is, though, the Falcons, you cannot have even uh a speeding ticket on your driving record for them to
Mm-hmm.
give you any chance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so for me, even though it's not like he's guilty at all, you're not saying that, but yeah, the Falcons do not take chances on any players with any type of possible character concerns, you know. So for me, I think there's no chance that we take him, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But the good news is there is tons of defensive talent, like you guys have mentioned.
Hey, Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe
Can't
button.
go
Mm-hmm.
You
Carrie,
really
there?
can't go wrong. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry. You can't really go wrong, honestly. There's so many options out there, like you mentioned, Jack. I mean, but for me, I'm really digging Campbell. I feel like I watched an interview where he said he wants to be a team Swiss Army knife. Like, I feel like,
We need that.
right. I just feel like he He's a good linebacker. He can rush the passer. So he's like he could play two positions, right? I think he's really athletic. He's explosive. I really he's young. I think he's 21. I just feel like he has a lot of potential there. He was really good in college at Bama, and especially with our new defensive coordinator being, his background being linebackers, I think the linebacker might be the pick, honestly. So for me, he's my pick. But like you mentioned, can't go wrong. There's so many options out there for us, and I'll be happy no matter what because we're going defense. So I've been wanting us to go defense.
Well, I tell you this right now: the Falcons have their homework to do. So do we here at One Time for the Fan. But to hear some of these names already, because we did mention these names already on the podcast, and the still as we get closer to the draft, these are the names we're hearing. We haven't heard no surprising news about an offensive lineman being linked to Atlanta, right? We don't want. I don't want to get to the like April 1st, April 2nd, and then you hear, oh, this stock for this center is rising to Atlanta because of Drew Dalman. I don't want to hear that, right? I don't want to hear that. They're going after a wide receiver to, I guess, secure their wide receiver 3 or however they want to look at it, their slot receiver, because they're unsure about Rondo Moore or whatever in the future. I don't want to hear that. I need a defensive player at 15, right? And Kerry, Jahad Campbell, even for Mike Green, like Bodie, that might be the name right there that you were even mentioned about. The Falcons take a shot at some of these guys that, have situations in the past that, they're good players on the field, but off the field, they have had some situations. Some team is going to draft Mike Green. So don't look at Jack Spade and say, Jack, you can't say that. Well, some team is going to draft Mike Green. They're going to look at what happened in the past. They're going to go do their initial reports, and they're going to say, you know what? This kid's going to be a good fit for us. We're going to put him around the right people, and we're going to sweep that stuff underneath the rug. So Jahad Campbell, James Pierce, Walker from Alabama, even Terry, let me throw this out. Let me just throw this name out here. Malachi Starks from Georgia. First round at 15. Would you be upset, Falcon fans, if Starks was the pick? Knowing that Justin Simmons might not be back here next year. DeMarco Hellman is unsure about his future. You heard about Richie Grant too. Fans don't even know if they want Richie Grant here going on.
Right. No, I wouldn't be upset.
Starks is the pick. How would you all feel? Georgia fans are going to say, oh, he's a dog. Of course, you know how I'm going to feel. Go Dogs. But is he the right pick for you as a fan? Is he the right pick for the organization? Best player available, Terry, Kerry, and Bodie. Best player available has to be a defensive player. We might not be able to get the name or the position right now, but the best player available has to be a defensive player. You can't look at offense and say that's the best player available you need for your team right now. Not running back, not tight end, not left tackle, not right tackle. Even with the Drew Dalman situation, it's not center. It is a pass rusher. It is somebody either on that line besides Grady or somebody that's getting ready to get after the quarterback every single snap for years here in Atlanta. That's just my take on it. Just the way I look at it. And chat is live. Chat is lit too as well. But just to hear some of these names. And of course, as we get closer to the draft, we'll talk about the second round and the third round, the fourth round. But all eyes are focused on that pick at 15. And it's just important. It's just important for me, right? I'm sure it's important for Kerry, who she's already stated that she's ready for Falcon football to get back. And the draft is just one step closer to Falcons football being back. Because right after the draft, they have rookie mini camp. Shortly after that, then they have the OTAs, and then you're going to be back out there in the field in the summer for training camp, which will be here covering everything from One Time for the Fan. On the podcast, in the field, for those that's been here in the past, you all know we have our scheduled shows, which is during the week, Sunday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Then we have our pop-up shows. But with the off season, everybody's work schedule and everything, things are just kind of crazy. But we do appreciate everybody's support here, whether if you're tuned into us or if you're tuned into T-Will, or for some of you all that just love to hear Kerry talk. Kerry's on other podcasts too as well, talking Falcons football. So that's just great that even during this off season. We're all excited about talking about the Atlanta Falcons. I think, Terry, you're excited about talking about the Falcons?
Always.
Without a doubt. Oh, you said Terry.
You said Terry.
Terry,
I
wasn't
sure. Go ahead, Miss Terry. Go ahead, Miss Terry.
No, I don't know if he said Terry or Carrie, but I know we feel the same way. We're both super excited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait, man. I can't wait for this draft. And really can't wait for free agency. Look at did a show the other night with Scott Karisic, and with some, he pointed out about 4 moves that we can make to generate about $45 million under the cap. So the Falcons are able to make some moves, right? They may not all be sexy moves, but they're able to make some moves and probably able to draft and get what they need. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So we know that the Falcons will, I mean, we can just say right now, they're definitely going to have to restructure some people.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I didn't tell you breaking news. Oh, shit, Jack Spade. Go ahead, go screenshot it. Go clip it. It's literally every team's going to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. They have to restructure some people to get some money, right? And then when they get the money, they have to do what? Go re-sign some people, right? They have to go get some people in free agency, right? They have to go look at their draft, make sure they have enough people to take care of their draft class, which I'm sure with 4 or 5 picks ain't going to be that too hard for them this year, especially picking at 15 because your big money guys are in the top 10, right? But you get the right guy. What's up, Karen?
No, it makes sense. I'm just agreeing with you. I don't know if you guys, I don't mean to change the subject, but did you guys see, I think somebody put it in the chat, the Eagles are releasing Big Play Slay. Would that be,
Darius
would he
Slay?
be, yep, I just saw Schefter tweeted it out 12 minutes ago. Eagles are releasing 6-time Pro Bowl corner Darius Slay. He's designated a post-June 1 release. The Eagles will save $4.3 million against the cap.
Wow. Darius Slay Jr. So here, Falcon fans, and this is good that we have these podcasts because as we're talking Falcons football, breaking news is happening around the NFL, even with Torrey McElhaney from the Falcons reporting literally 5 minutes ago about the Falcons cap situation and what they have to go through to get everything situated. So big shout out to Tori for her report. Carrie, you just reporting about Darius Slay. We need, what is it, a fucking hour and 15 minutes into the podcast, and now here we go talking about a potential cornerback that could be alongside AJ Terrell because we need to find somebody. That CB2 spot is open, y'all. We ain't forget about it. It's open. And DJ Reed, I believe, some fans were saying that, with Jeff Ulbrich being here in Atlanta from New York, could be a name to look for. The kid, what is it? What's the linebacker's name from the Jets? Sherwood, I think it is, or Smallwood.
Yeah.
That guy right there who can also be a fit here in Atlanta because, our linebacker core too as well. We're trying to make sure we strengthen that unit. So that guy could be a good fit here too as well. Ties to Jeff Ulbrich. Most defensive coordinators, from what I've seen, when they go to a new job, they usually try to look at some of the players that they played with in the past and they say, hey, look, I got something fresh here in Atlanta. I got something fresh here in XYZ. Do you want to come over and play for us? So that would be good if Jeff Ulbrich can bring over a player or two who can fit what the Atlanta Falcons are looking for, because it helps them with their depth. It helps them with their roster. It helps them with their scheme. And, of course, with coaches knowing these guys, a little bit easier for them to fit into their system of what they want to do. Don't forget about Braylon Trice. I'm glad Mateo brought it up. Braylon Trice getting back. Where is Root going to be next year? Where is Brandon Dorless going to be next year? Those moves are also going to be talked about here on One Time for the Fan. DeMarco Helms, we haven't discussed. Rondo Moore, if he's coming back with the season that Cordell Hodge just had to as well. Hodge is, I believe, going to be a free agency. It's going to be a free agent. You got to look at Hodge.
You can't let Hodge leave.
Oh, my gosh. Should we tweet him? Should we hit him up on TikTok?
Wow.
You have to look at Hodge and say, yo, when you're building a team to be successful, special teams matter. And that guy, you saw it. He won the Bucks game for us at the end of that game.
He won a couple games. He won the Bucks
game too as well. That first game with the touchdown. I mean, if you're looking at it, he made some plays this year. The block punt in Tampa. He made some plays this year. It was like, yo, this.
He won about 3 or 4 games for us,
bro. Now, some fans might clip it and say, Cordell, it's a team game. It's no I in team. Cordell Hodge played a big part in helping us win. I'll go ahead and correct Terry because you know how fans will take it. Cordell Hodge played a big part in helping us win some games this year. And for that, you have to look at it and say, why are we going to let this guy go? But look at the money.
Whatever, man. Look it. If he doesn't catch that touchdown in OT, I don't know about that. Okay.
Terry, that was like damn near play of the year for the Atlanta.
Yes. If he does not recover that fumble against the Saints, that's the only touchdown we scored. Offense did not score a touchdown.
Go look at your top 5 touchdowns this year for the Atlanta Falcons. Rank them. Top 5 touchdowns. You got to look at the Kyle Pitts one for Washington.
And didn't he block 2 kicks in Tampa?
I want to say he did.
I want to say, but I mean, bro, that in it. First off,
he had a Pro Bowl season.
Can we say that he is the special teams player of the year?
He's a gunner,
resoundingly, no doubt.
But guess what, though? When he was called into the fire, he was able to go in there and put it out. Like this dude, Cordell Hodge, he's a special player that we might need to see here in Atlanta going forward. That's how Ray was at times this year, where fans didn't really get too much of seeing Ray because we're Falcon fans. We didn't give a shit about the 49ers. But look how Zach Robinson was able to use Ray. And I will say there was a couple catches this year where, if Ray would have get snagged those in, the game would have been different. Same thing for Drake London. If you would have snagged him, every player has that. Go to every team. The Jaguars, I mean, you can say that for every catch because they damn near dropped everything. I mean, it was fucking one of the worst teams in the league. I know John was still here, still hating. So we had to hate back. Pam Jackson's in the chat. I'm live and I'm lit, man. It's going down right now in a major way. So big shout to Pam Jackson. Millie Mills in the chat. Everybody in here talking Falcons. Deshaun Coswell's in the chat. He says, Shawty do-rag. Bodie, Shawty do-rag. Sheesh.
Shawty do-rag.
Shawty do-rag. That's some real Atlanta shit.
Wow.
In the chat. Big shout to Jonathan Bell. I see the Falcons being all in for James Pierce from Tennessee. Have y'all seen this or is it just clickbait? That is a name that we have on our draft board. I can't say all in because we're not putting our eggs in one end of the basket for just one player when they have all this talent here in the draft coming out. You got to throw about 5 or 6 players in. Do I think the Falcons are all in on James Pierce? I think they have him on our board. I think they have him on their board. They got to, right? You're doing your due diligence. We're doing our due diligence. You got to have James Pierce on your board. You have to. What's up, T. Will?
You want to look at that comment, sir? The last one?
Oh, my God.
Somebody's a little aggressive, sir.
Here? What is going on?
Somebody's a little aggressive, sir.
I don't even know who he's talking to. Like
I don't know, man. But hey, man, you wilding, bro. You wilding.
Come on, Jay. Come on, J.E. We'll go ahead and remove that comment right there. Might have
you wilding, bro. I don't know what's going on.
Reports to YouTube with Mark Zuckerberg.
I don't know what's going on with your boy.
But I think Jarnell's kind of upset that an Alabama player could be selected at 15 for the Atlanta Falcons. And of course, if he's right for the job, I don't give a damn what school he went to. We drafted Troy fucking Anderson from goddamn Montana State. Right? If just Mr. Campbell can come over here and get the job done, I'm all for it. Right? I don't care what school they went to. Although I am a Dog fan.
Well, is he a Bama fan? Is that why he cares
Bama.
so much?
Yeah, Jarnell's big time Bama. Big time.
Okay, Bama Jags fan, got it.
So he doesn't want to see one of his players go to the Falcons, right?
Okay.
He'd rather see this player go to the Jags, I'm guessing, right? But the Jags is shitty. Nobody gives a damn about the Jags, right? He's sitting there wearing a Jags jersey, talking on a Falcons podcast. Like, come on. It's going down in a major way. T. Will, Bodie, Carrie, chat is live, chat is lit.
Jack, can I ask? I saw our guy Millie Mills comment in the chat, let Grady go. What do you guys think's gonna happen with Grady? Me personally, I think
You gotta keep Grady.
I think they'll extend him.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll let him
yeah,
go.
Gotta keep Grady.
right. I
Eddie,
think honestly that Grady honestly has done so much for the organization that they literally will allow him to retire a Falcon if that's what he wants to do. If he wants to retire a Falcon, they'll make it happen. Personally, I think that's how it'll go.
Right now, let's look at Arthur Blank. You haven't won a Super Bowl, right? Matt Ryan, you drafted here in Atlanta, and then, towards the end of Matt Ryan's career, let him go. We'd rather see Matt Ryan retire in Atlanta, played the whole career here, the whole Kobe type thing. But then Matt Ryan went to the Colts. He's now on CBS. Julio Jones situation, you saw how that played out. If you're going to do right by a couple players on this team right now on this roster, I got two of them for you. And I've mentioned it before. Terry, do you know what two players I'm talking about? We deserve to at least win a Super Bowl for these two players. They've been here the longest on this team. You
Grady,
them.
Grady and our tackle.
And Jake Matthews.
Yeah, Grady and Jake.
It's that Fletcher Cox Eagles moment. Every team, it's that Andrew Whitworth Rams moment. Every team has a player that when you win the Super Bowl, you're doing it not only for the organization and the fan base, but it's really those two guys right there put everything on the line for so many years. You got to give your respect to Grady and your respect to Jake Matthews. That's why I think Grady is going to restructure. I think Grady's going to look at it and say, I know I'm over 30 now? He knows where it is in the NFL. It's just how the game goes. It's business. But to see Grady go to a different team, he's everything is Georgia for Grady outside of Clemson University, where he went to college. So why pack him up and send him to the Rams so late in his career? Right? I mean, he got his family here. You see how big Mama Jared is here with the community, Grady Foundation. Why are you risking that?
Yeah.
Community guy? You want to talk about community guy? Walter, you finna get rid of the Walter Payton man of the year nominee? Fuck no. You better find a way to restructure his contract, because that's the first person I'm calling. If you put me in that GM role, get Bodie, get Terry, ask him. Put me in that GM role. Who's the first person I'm calling to restructure their contracts? I'm calling Grady. On a Raheem tip and a Terry tip. Want to know why? Because that's my boy. A little bit different to talk to Kirk now, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
A little bit different to talk to Kirk about anything now. Versus Grady's like, yo, G, I want to holler at you real quick. Yeah. Matter of fact, just step outside. Yeah, Grady, you see me? Yeah. Want to come down the street real quick? Let's talk about it. They probably live on the same fucking street. Who knows? But I can assure you that the Falcons should do right by this fan base and restructure Grady. Right? Let's restructure him. You're gonna cut David Amyad. Scott Karisic even pointed that out.
He did. Yeah, he did.
That's fans are pointing this out left and right. You don't have to cut Grady. That's just the fans who are upset about Grady's production. They're not getting the 10, 15 sack defensive tackle. They're not getting the big guy who's plugging the middle every single play. Well, also Grady was in positions where he was tripled and quadruple teamed every damn play. Even last year with that same front four that we thought was going to be as strong as they thought they were, Grady was still getting slapped around. Double team and triple team. Judon didn't help at all. It didn't help either. If Eric Parker's concerned, he was in plain fucking coverage.
Right. I think, Jack, the reason why some people are calling for Grady to be, traded or released or what have you is that he's going to be 32, I think, when the season starts in 2025. He's getting to the tail end of his career. And I guess fans think that he deserves to win a Super Bowl, which he does, right? Maybe they don't think the window is, the window's closing for him, and they just want to see him win. I want to see him win with the Falcons. I don't know how soon we're gonna make it to a Super Bowl or win one, but I do know that his cap hit is more than $20 million next season. So if they released him, they'd save 16.25. So, and his hit would only be 4 million. So I think that's why a lot of people are calling for him to be, unfortunately in a new uniform next season. But for me, yeah, I think you restructure or you extend them in order to restructure to kind of make space for this season on the cap. And I think if Grady, as long as Grady wants to be a Falcon, you let him retire a Falcon.
I'm all for that, Kerry. Every single last word. I'm telling you right now. Look at Raheem, the players coach. Falcon fans, the players coach. Look at Terry, right? Look at the communication and the friendship that they have. Even with Terry being on the hot seat, quote unquote, for the Falcons fan base. Grady Jarrett is probably one of your biggest restructures this offseason. And we know about Grady Jarrett 4 or 5 years from now. Is he still playing in the league at 38? I don't know. I can't say. You could ask me that at 25 years old, and I can say, yes, he'll be playing in the league at 30.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you that right now. It's being real. It's being respectful. I think Grady knows that too. He's over 30. So it's not get the bag, but there is no more major extension, right? There's no more. This is it. This is the last contract. So let's make it a friendly one. So even after your time with the Falcons, Super Bowl or no Super Bowl, we can put you in that ring of honor on that field. Everything. That's a big moment. Right now, the biggest moment you have in this Falcons organization outside of when that football game starts is those ring of honors. You ain't been to the playoffs. You're not winning the Super Bowl. Until we get that, at least retire these jerseys, retire these players.
Agreed.
That's a big moment for fans to stand on to say 4 years from now you're going to Grady Jarrett night, Thursday night football at the fucking Benz. And everything's 97 in the whole building. 97 everywhere. Falcons owe him that. Not, we're sending you to the fucking Cardinals. No. No. Where? I don't care how much of a diehard Falcon fan you are. You got to look at the situation for Grady, man. He's giving his heart here to Atlanta. Give him something back.
All right.
Right? It's just one player. You can't look at Grady and say, our defense is this because of Grady. No, it's not. Cut the bullshit. It's not because of Grady, because we didn't get 40-something sacks or 40-something
correct.
Sacks. It's not because of Grady.
Right.
And it's not because of the contract. If Grady that contract would be $10 million light, we would give some open. Man, cut the bullshit.
Yeah, to your point, Jack, I think, Grady did have an off year. I think I read that his pressures were second fullest in his full season since 2018 last season. But people have to remember that he is getting older. And not just that, but he is coming off that ACL injury in 2023. So, that's a big part of it. And another part of it is that Brady brings value, tremendous value, not just on the field, but off the field as well. We know that. I mean, Walter Payton, Man of the Year nominee for the Falcons this past season. So he means so much to the organization. I think that to do right by him, you let him decide what he wants to do. And, I think Raheem, like you mentioned, Jack is a player's guy, a player's coach. And I mean, we just saw him hanging out with Bijan at the fight over the weekend. So he is a player's coach. But yeah, Raheem did say everything is not just a business decision. Yes, the business comes, the business part of it's important. But, he had high praise for Grady. And he says, that he's a leader off and on the field and off the field. And he's just not easy to replace. So I think you do right by him, honestly.
And big shout out to Millie Mills. At end of the day, Grady ain't worth the $20 million, so you better restructure. I think that's what this conversation is about. Kerry, Millie Mills. If we all sit at the table right now, and I give you all the phone that say call the first person on this team that needs to restructure, we're all calling Grady. We all agree on that. So if the money's not worth it, but then again, I don't deal with the financial situation for the Falcons. I'm just a fan.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Falcons might say, "Nah, man, you worth $50 million. Take the money."
Well,
they gave Kurt 100. Here's 150 for you, Grady. I'm gonna have a field day with this one.
Here's the thing about it, right? 2 points. Number one, That defense that Jimmy Lake called was just silly. I'm not gonna call it. I'm working on my language. It was just silly. Okay, that 3-4 was just silly. We did not have the personnel for it in most cases, and I think it impacted not only Grady's stats but Onyemata's as well. Because when we ran that 4-3 for those 4 weeks, you couldn't stop us. You could not stop us as a defensive unit. So you would have to call that into account as well. The other part of it is, to Kerry's point, you don't know the impact that a guy has in the locker room, right? I'll give you an example. Chris Webber was talking about this when he played with the Kings. And he said they traded Doug Christie and they didn't realize that Doug was the glue that held the team together. They said that the trade on paper looked like it was a good trade. What they did not know, however, was that in that locker room, Doug Christie was Unc. Doug Christie was peacemaker. Doug Christie was fun guy, right? And when you get rid of that guy, you kind of mess with the clubhouse dynamic. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say he's worth $20 million or not. I'm just going to say I don't think the Falcons can afford to lose him. And I think they will extend him. I don't think they'll cut him. I'd be surprised if they did that.
And don't forget, man, the circumstances some of these players are put under. Go to basketball, go to baseball. Look at the Hawks with the recent trade. People were bashing it left and right. I think if you look at it down the line, both teams got what they wanted. Right? The Hawks got some debt pieces, which I think now the Hawks remember behind. Oh man, I might have to go to your podcast and talk Hawks. If I get into this shit, Terry, I'm gonna get into this shit.
Well, come on,
behind
brother.
Trae Young now. Before when he had Kobe Buffkin, and of course he was working with Cooper was a Sharif, and they tried to find a point guard to come in behind Trae. They tried to find a depth guy. They tried to find a wing who can sit over there and hit some threes outside of DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish. Look at Niang. Look at Terrence Mann. Look at LeVert. They found 3 pieces to help fill what they need that they feel now can improve their bench, right? Help with that 6-man rotation. And then look at Hunter now with Cleveland. He just went for 30 points the other night. Cleveland got their guy. So look at the Falcons now. For Grady Jarrett, his situation was just, I'll say after 2016, we know what it was, right? It's been tough for Grady. Remember the interview he did a couple years ago on Fox 5? He needs help. You know what I'm saying? He's tired of the same old shit. We heard that. But that's your leader of the team. That's your captain speaking. And he just wants to find players to put him around him to make him better, to make the team better, to make the defense better. That's what it's all about. Everybody working together. Because that team back in 2016, everybody was on the same page damn near every game up until that fourth quarter of that Super Bowl. I can tell you right now, man, watching that Falcons NFC Championship, Seattle divisional playoff, man, every single player should have seen that shit. They were on the same page. Even after they lost some games, you can see that they was on the same page until that fourth quarter. But Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. This is what it's all about. Talking Falcons football here. We'll be back Wednesday. We'll definitely be back Wednesday talking Falcons football because we can't do this. We need more time. And the chat's so live, the chat's so lit. We got some stuff to talk about too as well. There's a race going on Sunday down here in Atlanta. I'm going to explain more about it. It's a 4K race.
Jack,
what's up?
Did you check the
what?
Check the other one. Check the private.
I didn't see it. Yeah. I think she's about to dip out. Carrie dipping?
Yeah, guys, I gotta head out.
Yeah, but, me too. Me too. Unfortunately,
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. So many people were in the chat supporting us. I appreciate you all. Hope everyone's happy and healthy, and I will talk to you guys Wednesday. Thank you. Have a great day.
Big shout to Carrie one time for the fan.
Bye.
Carrie, we'll see you. Jack, I got to roll as well, man. I got to go make the world safe for, wireless subscribers everywhere. So, hey, man, everybody in the chat, thank you for coming out. God bless. Appreciate you. Jack, thank you for having me. Bodie, congratulations on your channel. Miss Carrie, you're just
Thank you.
great.
Thank you, brother.
You are the greatest, Miss Carrie. Hey man. Oh, yeah. LBB, what's up, man? Appreciate you as always. Jack, thank you for getting me in this business. LBB, thank you for getting me in this business. Everybody out there in the chat, appreciate you. I'm forgetting something. Oh well, whatever. Guys, thank you.
We'll
Have an
explain it on
amazing
Wednesday.
day.
You guys are good. I know y'all are running. Carrie got some stuff to do. T will have some stuff to do. And it's great because you guys have been here on One Time for the Fan before. So you guys already know where to catch Carrie. You can see her on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. She's talking Falcons. She's talking Manchester United. Big time sports fan, Miss Carrie. And of course, T Will, former ATO Sports, One Time for the Fan. T Will is doing shows. Like I said, he's doing Hawk shows, Brave shows. He's a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I'm guessing when the dogs get started shortly, he's going to be talking dogs too as well. Big time Atlanta Falcon fan. You can see him here talking on One Time for the Fan. And of course, he just did a Atlanta United podcast too as well with a young lady named Jennifer Taylor, who's a big diehard Atlanta United supporter. So big shout out to T Will with everything he got going on. And then this guy right here, where is he at? This guy right here, Bodie 3000, man. Y'all know what it is with One Time for the Fan, man. When we started this podcast, man, Bodie
It's like
3000,
old times, huh?
bro, just like back in the day, just like draft night, that
It's
first
me
4 hour
and you.
show, we didn't get up. We didn't get up for like 4 hours talking about, well, pick 173 is in. We just got 20 more picks to go.
I had to pee so bad. I wanted to be professional.
Oh shit! Didn't want to know. Didn't know if you wanted to cut out from the screen or get up or leave or turn the camera sideways. But we had to move, man. So much shit going on that day. 4 hour
Yeah, that
stream.
was crazy.
4 hour stream. But this is great, man. To have Bodie here talking Falcons, and of course Bodie's channel, Bodie's Best, is up and running on YouTube. 2 videos already put out by Bodie, and I'm sure he's gonna have a whole lot more. Brian Cornelius is in the chef. Anything you extend Grady and put him in the Jonathan Babineau role and help bring Rook, Dorless, and whoever else we pick up along to take his place. Brian, that is correct. Right? I think the Falcons see that. That's the Fletcher Cox move. Like that's the Eagles type of move right there, where you keep a guy around that's been so important to your organization, and then let him help work on some of the younger guys because Rook and Dorless is the future here in Atlanta if they, put the production up that the Falcon fans see and the organization see to keep them here. You're not going to keep a
Yes,
guy
sir.
you're not going to keep a player here that's not good. Falcons drafted Dorless. They drafted Rook. They want these guys to, put up numbers. And we have a guy like Grady Jarrett who, could be on the way out in a couple years. And then these 2 guys that's under the age of 25. How long did Grady here play in Atlanta? A long time. So maybe they can get that with Rook. Maybe they can get that with Dorless too as well. But I'm all for it, man. Bodie, quickly, your thoughts, man, on this Grady Jarrett situation before we get up out of here. And just, tell us about Bodie's Best, man, what you got coming up. And just, the platform is yours like always, man. So really, let's chat it up for a bit.
Well, I'm gonna hit on the Grady situation. I think Grady has earned the right to be a Falcon lifer. I wouldn't be mad at them if they extended him. He's always given his all. He's always been that guy, and he earns the right to retire here if he so chooses. And if he want another bag, he deserves. Well, I would say super bag, but a reasonable bag to him. Then that would be well deserved for him. And there are other pieces on the team that if we wanted to save money, that we could release. But no, Grady isn't one of them for me. But yeah, so yeah, my platform, Bodie's Best, man, is just all about NFL content, NFL news, NFL everything. So that's gonna be my mantra. I'm gonna still be around. I'm gonna still be talking Falcons here and stuff like that. And I may even talk Falcons on that page as well. But that's just I'm just trying to just feed the people and just give out some good wholesome content that everybody can enjoy and hopefully I'm scaling this thing up, and I can quit my day job. That'd be the
Shit.
goal. But
Good enough.
we'll see what happens.
Well, don't quit your day job, because people need you out here in this world, Bodie. I can
Not
tell you,
not,
people
not
need you.
yet, but eventually.
Hey, that's what it's all about, man. I'm glad you're enjoying this podcast journey, man, because when we first talked about it, uh, you know, you've always had a vision to do your thing, and you got it going now to where I'm telling you, man, fans are going to enjoy what they hear from Bodie on Bodie's Best, because we had a segment here called Bodie's Breakdown, where Bodie would just break down players or different, either a coach or just anything about the Atlanta Falcons. And it was about a good 2 to 5 minute segment where Bodie would just, bring the facts and the knowledge about these players and whatever the topic was. And fans loved it here on One Time for the Fans. So I guarantee you, if you go watch Bodie's Best, which I'll bring up right here, 82 Monte Carlo, we're going to get back to that comment before we get up out of here. I'm going to bring up Bodie's Best so y'all can go see what I'm talking about here, because I need y'all to go subscribe. It's the off-season Falcon fans, so content is what y'all want. Content is what we'll give y'all, man. So big shout out to Bodie. Let me drop this banner. As you can see right there, Bodie's Best. You got 2 videos out so far. You got the 2025 NFL Awards, like you've never seen. And, of course, the Deebo Samuel traded, which is, I was shocking because I was literally busy as hell yesterday. And I looked down at my phone. I'm like, what? Breaking news. 49ers send what? Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Our star talent like that gets sent over to the Commanders. Just imagine what the Commanders offense is looking like now with Deebo Samuels. So it's good. It's good to know that there's a lot of content creators out here, who's spending time in the off season to, work on their craft and, of course, look at things that the Falcons are doing and things around the NFL, and they're bringing it to light. So I know some people who don't even listen to the radio station. They don't listen to, none of those reports that they put out on Twitter, none of that stuff. They just listen to podcasts and content creators, which is actually pretty
Yep.
cool. How
I am some people.
Huh?
I am some people. I am
Hey,
those people.
I'm telling you right now, you hear from Bodie right there. So Bodie's Best. Y'all see it on the screen. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button for Bodie. And please, 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 please make sure y'all tune in to Bodie. Bodie, you gonna do some lives over there too?
Man, I'm gonna do some lives. I'm gonna be doing some, circle time. All kind of everything, man. Podcasts, a lot of pre-recorded videos. Everything's open. Everything's on the table. So yeah, everything.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Y'all see it on the screen, y'all. Bodie's Best. Check it out on YouTube. Now, this comment before we get up out of here. 82 Money Carlo. I'm glad y'all making these points because everywhere else has been a money-based decision. For Grady, it still is a money-based decision, right? We're just putting in those points where people just overlook that. Like, why would we just get rid of Grady just like that? You got to look at how much Grady meant to this organization. I remember, this is, fans might not even care about this stuff, but the Falcons spend money on this type of stuff, and you have to know about it. 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago or last year? I think it was 2 years ago when they had was it the Deion Jones situation? And they had,
Yeah, a couple years ago.
A couple years ago, they had the painting inside the stadium, the mural. They had Grady Jarrett, they had Deion Jones, they had Jake Matthews on the mural. And then the Deion Jones situation happened where they got rid of Deion Jones. And they had to quickly go back and change that. Even for when they had Julio Jones there at the stadium with his pictures, and then Julio Jones left, they still didn't take the pictures down in time to when the season was underway. They still had Julio Jones like cut out still in the stadium. Like, people was like, why is Julio still in the stadium if they don't have him on the team no more? And eventually they changed that. And then when you walk back through that area, they only had Jake Matthews and Grady Jarrett from there. So some of these small things you got to look at and say, damn, well, Grady Jarrett does mean a lot to the city, right? I think, like I said, high school here, born here, went to college at Clemson. I mean, he's right up the street, played for the Falcons for all these years. I'm sure the Falcons going to keep him. But the money base decision for Grady is to restructure. Just restructure. That's all it is. That's all it is. You restructure, fans are happy, you get a couple $1 million back, fans can go get a couple players, and then we keep moving from there. Chat is wild, chat is lit. It's good to see everybody here talking Falcons football, but we got to wrap this up. Got some stuff to do for today, but Bodie 3000. Man, I appreciate everything you've done, man, for this podcast, man. I'm telling you, bro, what you got going on with your podcast is going to another level. So for fans here in the chat, please go like, share, and subscribe. Bodie's Best on YouTube. Bodie, man, let's get to your shout outs, man. So we go ahead and wrap this show up, man, because Wednesday night we're back. We'll talk more Falcons football, more updates for you all. Anything that happened between now and Wednesday. And the Rise Up Tour fan club, they're doing so much work getting ready for this upcoming season. I want to let y'all know about an event that's going on Sunday. If you're in Atlanta, right, and you want to work out on Sunday, right, you want to go do I think it's a 3K, it's a 3K or a 5K downtown Atlanta. The Rise Up Tour fan club's doing a great job of raising money for this special awareness that they're doing. And right now, I'm telling you, man, it's just great to see that people care, right? So big shout out to the Rise Up Tour fan club. Wednesday night, we'll explain it on the podcast. Bodie, your shout outs, man, before we get up out of here. Bodie, you good?
Shout out to everybody. Can you hear me?
I think Bodie got some connection issues.
Hello?
Yep, you there, Bodie? Some small connection. You there? You can hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm all over the place. I get it in real quick though. Shout out to everybody in the chat today. Shout out to all of y'all showing love. I appreciate all the love and support. Me starting on this journey on my own page and stuff like that. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be around. Shout out to you, Jack, for showing all the love and support, man. You've been real pivotal in helping me get to this point, and I'm still gonna show that love back and everything. So appreciate you, Jack, and shout out to all the Falcon fans, man. Y'all stay loyal and just keep your head up, and we're gonna get this defense right, man. That's about it. I'm keep it short and sweet. Shout out to God. Without him, everything wouldn't be possible. So that's it.
Hey y'all, it's going down in a major way. We got a special guest that's gonna be joining us coming up real soon. Matter of fact, this special guest, he's been on our show before, and of course, Falcon fans love when he joins us here to talk Falcons football. Man, I reached out to him. I was like, "Yo, man, we gotta get you back on the podcast real quick, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the off season. We know you got a lot to say." And he reached back out to me. He said, "Bro, just tell me whenever." I said, "Man, let's go ahead and set it up this week, man." So Mark Cheney, man, from Bleacher Report, man, is gonna be here talking Falcons football with us. So big shout out to Mark. We've had Ricondo so far this year. We've had Bigelow Country Sports so far this year. Mark Cheney's going to be joining us coming up soon, and we got a lot of special guests going to be joining up. I'm telling you about. We're gonna have.
Hold on, wait, Bigelow. No, you said Bigelow. Bigelow can't get back on the show. He's finished breaking my yard. I'm tired of doing the work. Like he got to do my yard, and he got to do my yard correctly. And then Bigelow.
Listen to that. Bodie, think about it was so choppy with that connection. Bigelow's gonna listen to it. I know he's gonna come back with a joke too, man. I know he got something to say. But I heard what you said, man. Hopefully the chat did too as well. We like cracking jokes here too as well.
Yeah.
But, it's a content creator thing, man. We just having a good time, man. But Bodie's Best, T Will, former ATL Sports. So many people out here with their podcasts and their content. Take some time to go check it out, Falcon fans. Like, it's the off season. We're here together, right? Season ticket holders, make those payments because they took my money out this morning. They were not playing with that shit. Like I said, I don't know how they run these payments at 6:57 in the morning when the office opens at 9. Who is there? Press the button. I don't know. But that PSL payment is due to as well coming up. So that's your Falcons update on that. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody in the chat. It's just great to talk Falcons football with y'all. Bodie 3000, Wednesday night, man. Bodie, platform is open. Come on back. Bring Bodie's Best with you, man. Let's talk some Falcons.
Right.
Get the people what they want, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all. Rise up, man. We up out of here. We will see y'all Wednesday night at